under debate is, well, what defines a service provider in the crypto space? There were 3 different amendments that were proposed over a 72-hour period. And then last night, voting came to a rapid halt. There was a new amendment that was proposed that was supposed to have unilateral support. That also did not get support. So now where do we go? We go to the House, and that's where the lawmaking will continue. So again, I don't think this is monumental for the crypto industry. It's certainly far from over. These changes don't get implemented, I don't believe, until 2023. So,
well, there you have it. The House did not pass they did not make an amendment, rather, for the infrastructure package, because the Senate approves the $1 trillion, really about $1.5 trillion infrastructure package, but they didn't make amendments to the very vague language of broker, which can have some effect on crypto going forward, but you still got to get through the Senate. We're going to dive into that in a second. What does that mean for you? What does that mean for us? What does that mean for crypto? We'll dive into that in a second, but let's take a look at the charts, because here's what I can tell you. Even though this was yesterday that that the bill got passed, so it's moving on to the Senate. We'll dive in, or to the House. We'll dive into that in a second. But you know what happened? Here's the Ethereum chart. It kept rallying right up. The Bitcoin chart kept going right on up. Ethereum actually hit a new high for this run. Let's pull it back real quick. Here's where the run started. And as you can see, this is the 12-hour chart. We had a little dip here, but that was on the 8th. That was 3 days ago now. And yesterday, over here on the 10th, is when the bill passed the Senate, and it just kept going right up. And what did it do? Ethereum actually hit a new high for this bull run, getting to around almost 3,800. So I'm not real worried about that. What I do want to show you, though, here, let's pull into a different time frame. I do wonder if there's going to be a slight correction in Ethereum and Bitcoin. I'm on the Ethereum chart. This is the one I've been following most closely. The reason being, because of EIP 1559, because Ethereum is getting burned. Let's take a look at the chart real quick to see how much Ethereum has been burned since the implementation. So almost 30,000 ETH have been burned since August 5th. That's millions and millions and millions of dollars. Again, the supply-demand squeeze, where the demand is going up and the supply is going down. Again, I've said this on several videos. The supply of ETH is going down because every day more and more ETH is getting locked into the ETH 2.0 stake, which cannot be unlocked. No, people can't get their ETH back out of those until ETH 2.0 comes, and at earliest ETH 2.0 is coming next year. So that supply is just not available for sale at all, and I think we're sitting at around half, or a little more than half, of all ETH is locked up in those stakes now. And because of, on August 5th, EIP 1559, the London hard fork that happened, a significant percentage of every fee in every transaction of Ethereum is burned. And so far, like I said, 30,000 ETH. So the supply of new ETH coming into the system every day is significantly less than it has ever been. And we go to the chart, that supply-demand squeeze just keeps pushing it up. Now, what's going to happen here? It's possible. Eventually, ETH is going to come back down, I think, and test 3,000, 2,900. See, here we are in the 3,000. Here we are around 2,900. I think eventually it's going to come down and test that as the new support. But I think there's a really good possibility that ETH squeezes itself up to about 3,350, maybe even 3,400 before we go in. So you don't want to get caught in this trap. Right now, I think we are in a zone where it could go up to 3,400. It could go down to 2,900. These are the next zones as we zoom out, way out. We'll see. Let's go to the daily, actually. You know, if you're a trader, if you're wonder when should I buy, sell Ethereum or Bitcoin, they travel together, as you know. Although I think Ethereum is now kind of leading the pace because of there's a supply-demand squeeze going on with Bitcoin, no doubt about it. But Ethereum's is gaining even more pressure because of the burning that is happening. So as you can see here, this was all the way back in May where we hit that all-time high. So as you see these charts, you'll see how it kind of lines up here. How around 2,900 seems to be this key level of support and resistance, but we've blown past that into 3,200 plus, and we've been above 3,200 for a good 12 hours now. And as we zoom in here more, we'll have to go on a different chart. Let's go on the 2 hour. You'll see that Ethereum had a lot of trouble getting past 3,200, right? So if you look at this chart, you'll see here it tried to get to 3,200. Here it tried to get to 32. Here it tried to get to 3,200. Here. Finally almost got there. And then finally it busted above. And then a quick correction. And then it tried again. Finally got above again. And now we've been sitting above. Because it busted through 3,200 and got all the way up to 3,250s. And now we've been climbing up there. Now we're trying to get to that 3,300. But if we zoom way back, let's go to the daily again. Stick with me here. This is important data to look at if you're thinking about buying or selling your Ethereum or trading it. I think this bull run will continue. I think that we hit all-time highs. I think we go above the 4,400 ultimately. But if you're a trader like I am, this is an important level to pay attention to, 2,900 for support. And then right here, this is kind of the golden Fibonacci range, is this kind of 3,300 to 3,400. I think that if we get into here, I think we do see a correction down to 3,100, maybe even 2,900. Again, this is where that zone is. So important stuff. Let's dive into some news. We're going to go right into this. Senate approves the bill, like I was talking about at the beginning of the video. Senate approved the bipartisan $1 trillion infrastructure bill. It's more than $1 trillion. I don't know why they keep rounding out straight at $1 trillion. It's going to authorize over $500 billion in new spending. But again, this bill needs to get through the House. I'd imagine amendments and compromises will be made in the House on crypto. That's what I think. I'm not worried about this. We did lose this battle because of one person. We'll get into him in a second. One person. Because of one person we lost this battle, but the war continues, and I believe we will win the next battle. Scroll down here a bit. Still, controversial language regarding cryptocurrency tax reporting remains in the bill. This is what we've been talking about. They think somehow $28 billion in revenue over the next 10 years is going to come out of this. No clue where that number came from at all, and $28 billion is not much money for the U.S. government at all. Senator Ron Wyden, Democrat out of Oregon, argued that the language was too vague and would make wallet developers and miners subject to reporting. This is what we've been talking about. This is completely unacceptable. This will make cryptocurrency and all that industry in this country, in America, be much less desirable, and we do not want that. Not just as crypto enthusiasts, but as a country, America, you have to be crypto friendly because this industry is growing like crazy. It's part of the tech industry. The biggest companies in the world are what? They are tech companies. Yeah. Amazon. Amazon's a tech company. That's what they really are. AWS, Amazon Web Services, is the biggest part of their actual revenue streams. Sure, you got e-commerce going on there, but e-commerce is what? Technology. Apple's number one, Microsoft is there, Facebook, Google, of course. These are all tech companies, and crypto is the fastest growing thing we've ever seen. Faster than the internet, if you can believe that. Anyways, after days of negotiations, an amendment aiming to fix the problem failed on the floor after Senator Richard Shelby, Republican out of Alabama, objected. You know what? It's not in here, but you want to know why he objected? He actually later went on his Twitter and said, I was actually for it, but they wouldn't accept the amendment I wanted in there, so I burned theirs too. What a petty, petty, petty little man. He'll screw everybody over because he didn't get what he wanted. What a jerk. He wanted to throw an amendment to increase spending on military. Military already gets so, every year our spending on military goes up. So it's not even a big deal. They have hundreds of billions of dollars in the military. So he wanted to add in a few billion dollars for military, or else he was going to burn this because they needed unanimous decision on this amendment. Unanimous. So they needed all 100 senators. He's the one. 99 went for it. He's the only one that objected, and he only objected not because he was against it, just because he wanted what he got, and he's a little boy playing in his sandbox, and he kicked his can and went away and said, well, if you don't give me what I want, then screw you. What a jerk. Yeah. Your senators, your representatives, they're not for you. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely absurd because, again, if this actually gets through the House, which is going to be a whole nother thing, but he puts us at risk. Senator Richard Shelby puts us at risk. America at risk. Crypto at risk. America at risk because this is a kick in the balls for the crypto industry. We want crypto as an American. I'm an American. It doesn't matter what country you're in. You want crypto in your country. China's made a big mistake. I'm not even going to get into that. But you want America, you want crypto in your country because it's the fastest growing industry in the world. And I believe of all time, fastest growing and adopted technology of all time. This thing is going to the moon, as we all know. Right now, the market cap of all crypto is just under $2 trillion. Once your pension funds, once your ETFs, once your big monster whale is a tiny thing, monster money can come into crypto, we're going to get to $100-200 trillion market cap. You want that industry in your country, right? Richard Shelby, you suck. Now, the House is set to begin debate on the infrastructure bill before it receives final approval and heads to Biden's desk for him to sign. This will go on for quite a while. It's unclear how long the process will take before the language is finalized. It will take longer in the House than it did in the Senate because the House knows. The Senate pushes it on through saying, well, you know what, House, you can just deal with this. We're going to move on to something else. House has to deal with this. And extra concern is going to be coming in from, here's the bipartisan blockchain caucus, raised concern over the Senate's cryptocurrency provision, etc. The lobbyist, because crypto has lobbyists, it's growing. There's going to be a lot more pressure on the House to do something about this than there even was on the Senate. So I think we'll win this battle and this war overall. Let's go to this. This is big news. We've talked about this a little bit, but I want to go over it again. Co-creator of the $27 billion USDC stablecoin, which is Circle, which is owned by Coinbase, reveals plans to become a full reserve national commercial bank. A full reserve national commercial bank. Crypto's huge. So Circle CEO Jeremy Allaire announced the firm's plan to operate under the supervision and risk management requirements of the Federal Reserve, U.S. Treasury, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, and the FDIC. In other words, they want to be the National Reserve. They want USDC stablecoin to be the National Reserve, to be kind of basically the new dollar just on the digital platform, which is where the world is moving to, is the digital platform. Clearly, we've been doing that for 25, 30 years. And it's only exponentially getting more and more growth into the digital realm every single year over year, without fail, since it started in the 90s. We believe that full reserve banking built on digital currency technology can lead to not just a radically more efficient, but also a safer, more resilient financial system, says Jeremy Allaire. I agree. And that's all I really have to say about that. Is I just want you to realize where crypto is going. I talk about the charts and trading, and is it going to go bullish? Is it going to go bearish? Is it going to bust beyond this certain zone, etc., which is important. It's fun to play with in the short term, but make no mistake about the long term of crypto. Eventually, there will be a stable coin that is the new Federal Reserve currency. Think about that. Really, not just right now. Think about that for days, for weeks, for months. Think about what that means. Get your crypto. It's like I say, none of this is financial advice, but get your crypto, man. Get your crypto. Be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. The goal of this channel is to keep you updated on the most current stuff and philosophy, while strategy and long-term and short-term views and perspectives and news for crypto. So my goal is to help you make money. So hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Again, we've burned 29,531 ETH since August 5th. It's not even a week yet. Tomorrow's a week. Millions of dollars in ETH. Millions. Does that add up to tens of millions? Not quite yet. What is that? Let's do some calculator. Yeah. And current price of Ethereum is about, 3250, we'll say, times, let's call it 30,000. 3 zeros, 6 zeros. Boy, was I wrong. That's almost $100 million in 6 days. $100 million worth of Ethereum burned in 6 days. It's going to be over $100 million a week of ETH. OpenSea being number one, that's the biggest NFT platform, which is always booming. Uniswap being number two, which is the biggest DeFi platform. Axie Infinity down here, the biggest pay-for-gaming platform, which is just booming. Not the easiest to buy, though. You can't get it on Coinbase. You can't get it on Voyager, so you really got to go to Binance or Bittrex or something like that. Binance is probably what I would use. But this just keeps going up, too. The actual Axie Infinity coin, it's crazy. Good time for altcoin season, but think about that. We've burned almost $100 million worth of ETH in less than a week. 6 days. The supply shock is real, and the demand is rising and the supply is decreasing, and it keeps going those directions. The demand is still going up and the supply is going down. There's a squeeze going on in Bitcoin, a supply squeeze, which is going to push the price to just burst eventually. But Ethereum squeeze is even tighter. It's even more pressure. This is going to burst, and that's why when I pull up these charts, I'm looking at Ethereum actually more closely than Bitcoin, because I think Ethereum just has more pressure going on. Bitcoin has been riding around this 46,005, which is great. But Ethereum wasn't able to bust past 32. Last night, I watched it. It bust past 32 and all the way up to about 3280 eventually. And now it's just sitting here hanging well above 3,200. That's like Bitcoin busting above 47,000, 47,500. So Ethereum seems to be leading the pace now. Don't fall for this trap. Overall, we're still going bullish, but we may eventually either... I think we bust to 3350, maybe 34, and then we have a correction down to 3100, somewhere between 2900 and 3100. So if you're trading, pay attention to those. But don't fall for this trap. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. You're awesome.